What's good, everybody? It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. And China launches a new retaliation in this trade war with the USA. China's responding to the tariffs, and this conflict is getting progressively more intense. And we got to talk about this one, man. China's not backing down. And this is going to affect the entire global community as a whole. And America is pretty much getting dragged on the world stage. And of course, you know, just a few short days ago, Trump folded and he put a 90-day halt on every other country when it comes to the tariffs. But he excluded China from that list. And now there's been a war ever since. China has blew the whistle on major fashion, on all the name brands. Come to find out they're made in China. And people are going right directly to the root or the source. And they're copying clothes directly from the manufacturers. So what China's doing essentially is outsourcing America. And now these tariffs are causing hyperinflation. And China is still hitting America with fatal blows, man. So look, this is what they've done as of late. Peep this, y'all.
Escalating the trade battle. This just came across. With the U.S. says it reportedly orders Chinese airlines to stop taking deliveries of Boeing planes and to not buy the aircraft-related equipment from American companies. This comes as President Trump considers a pause on car tariffs.
Jackie Heinrich is live at the White House with all the details for you. Hey, Jackie. Hey, good morning to you guys. That's right. Bloomberg is reporting this morning that China has ordered its airlines to halt deliveries of Boeing jets and all aircraft-related parts, causing shares of the company to drop 4.6% in pre-market trading.
And Boeing is huge, particularly on the Bible Belt. Down south, Boeing, you know, Boeing hires a lot of people, and they've just taken a huge hit. So when I tell you this is going to affect America, better believe it. If you lived anywhere on the Bible Belt, particularly the Carolinas, you know, listen, Boeing hires a lot of people, and there's going to have to be some cuts because of what China is doing, because they're not taking any more delivery jets. So guess what? America takes another blow. Let's go.
That followed the announcement. This order will block about 10 747.
Now I want y'all to understand a 4.6 decline is a lot. That right there is like thousands of layoffs. So I can translate this to you in real time. That's thousands of layoffs, tens and thousands. Let's go.
7 MAX airline jets from entering Chinese fleets. China's retaliatory tariff of 125% on American goods made purchases impractical more than...
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, these Boeing jets are trash anyway. They don't even belong in the air. You know, last year you had a lot of Boeing employees putting it out there that they take a lot of shortcuts when putting together their product, and they wouldn't even fly in them.
Than doubling the cost, according to this report. Meantime, Beijing is looking for ways to assist the Chinese airlines that lease the Boeing jets. This news comes as President Trump is announcing he's considering a pause for auto tariffs. Last week, he said no such exceptions were under consideration, but he also cautioned that he will stay flexible.
I'm looking at something to help some of the car companies where they're switching to parts that were made in Canada, Mexico, and other places. And they need a little bit of time because they're going to make them here. But they need a little bit of time. So I'm talking about things like that.
NEC Director Kevin Hassett said on Kudlow yesterday the U.S. has solid trade deal offers from about 10 countries, but the real number is north of 10. The offers just aren't quite there yet.
You got to understand, right now, Trump is ego tripping, y'all. Look, let me show y'all something. I'm going to show y'all what China's doing right now. Let me show y'all something. This is China's mentality right now. Yo, I laughed at this for a minute, but this is what y'all got to understand. Look, this is China right here, right?
We're not your little niggas, like, for real. All that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies. We're not little niggas, so we don't even respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't, and for me, I never respected in the streets. That's why I always got the problems I got. Don't tell me, Maze, chill. No, chill for what? Who is this nigga? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like, I want to respect you, but I can't. And I'm going to tell.
Yo, we got to play that one more time, bro. And I'm going to go back to the news.
We're not your little niggas, like, for real. All that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies. We're not little niggas, so we don't even respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't, and for me, I never respected in the streets. That's why I always got the problems I got. Would tell me, Maze, chill. No, chill for what? Who is this nigga? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like, I want to respect you, but I can't. And I'm going to tell.
Yo, I'm going to tell you right now, bro. That's what's happening. China's like, look, we not your little homies, bro. Like, don't you understand? We make everything. Like, we're not afraid to, you know, take a few losses, put some businesses in limbo. But America, man, I'm telling you, man, it's the Babylon is falling and they are literally cooking themselves, man. They picking the wrong battles. They're picking the wrong battles, right? Hold on. That's another one. Hold on. Let me work this out. One moment. Hold up. Let's continue.
Meantime, the White House is preparing a rescission package to codify DOGE cuts. Among the items on the chopping block, half the State Department and USAID budgets, slashing $26 billion in programs that promote democracy, support cultural institutions, and aid multinational institutions. That's according to Politico. Plus, the New York Post is reporting billions in federal funding for NPR and PBS is also on the chopping block. OMB Director Russ Vought saying, quote, since day one, the Trump administration has targeted waste, fraud, and abuse in federal spending through executive action, DOGE review, and other efforts by departments and agencies.
And they say that Elon Musk out here crashing out right now because things ain't going according to plan. They saying Elon Musk is going through a mental crisis. And, you know, I'm going to tell you like this. Eventually, the economy will stabilize, but it's going to have to be order out of chaos. Once it stabilizes, more than likely there will be some type of digital currency in place by that time. You know what I'm saying? And it's only stabilizing for people who, you know, are going to take the mark of the beast. Let's just be plain and simple about it. Everybody else going to be coloring outside the lines, but let's go.
Congress has expressed strong interest in supporting these efforts and requested the administration transmit rescissions to the Hill for swift approval. Now, formally transmitting these cuts from the White House will start that 45-day clock for the House and Senate to approve or reject the blueprint. According to the New York Post, the White House thinks that this package of rescissions will pass, guys.
Now, I'm gonna show y'all what's happening here, right? Because of this trade war, hyperinflation is imminent. We are in a recession right now. And this recession haven't even reached the climax yet. They haven't even reached the climax, but check out what's going on, y'all. This is America.
It is without question Donald Trump's single biggest vulnerability right now, and the greatest threat to his standing even among his own voters and supporters. Remember, many Americans signed up for a wholesale disruption of the status quo and are not yet startled by the dismantling of federal agencies. Many of them wanted to turn the tables on some of our most trusted alliances, and many approve of more aggressive policies on immigration and deportations.
Look, the American citizens, we agree with all of that. We was like, hey, look, if it's criminals coming over, you know, hey, if there's people that's bringing drugs over, we want you to tighten up on border control. What else did we agree with? Listen closely.
And many approve of more aggressive policies on immigration. Many Americans signed up for a wholesale disruption of the status quo and are not.
Yeah, we didn't want the American dollar to be, continue to plummet. And we signed up for him to stabilize things. Yeah, a lot of people who voted for the right. And, if I was a voter, if I got involved with voting and I believed that it would make a difference, I would have voted right. I would have voted on the right side. But unfortunately, I don't believe in that. I believe in voting for the Most High. I don't deal with the whole voting thing, because I believe that these people are selected. I believe that these people are handcrafted and chosen, right? Manchurian candidates, if you will. But at the end of the day, I'm going to show you what I don't agree with.
Not yet startled by the dismantling of federal agencies. Many of them wanted to turn the tables on some of our most trusted alliances, and many approve of more aggressive policies on immigration and deportations. But what no one, not a single voter, signed up for was an economy that is right now flashing red in a state of mortal danger. Just look at how the Dow.
Damn. Sheesh. Hold on, man. What's up with my stream deck? Hey, listen, bro. That joint, this is what I call the red media. I know Kanye was talking about the red media, but shorty, this is the red media right here. I mean, it's looking ugly, ugly, ugly. I mean, the economy is crashing, and the Dow Jones and the stock market continue to collapse. And y'all want to keep going into a trade war right now? America for sale, baby. You ain't heard? Man, you're going to have the Chinese moving up in America, buying up all the land soon. At the rate we going, it's going to be nothing but Chinese farmers out here copping land. That's right. The real ID, the digital ID is coming. The market of beasts is coming. One world currency is coming.
Closed today, down around 700 points. Related or not, just this afternoon, Jerome Powell, chair of the Federal Reserve, expressed some concern today, suggesting tariffs and the uncertainty surrounding their implementation could soon force the central bank to balance two somewhat conflicting goals: controlling inflation and supporting economic growth.
Y'all want me to tell y'all what's next? Put a one in the chat if y'all ready to find out what's next, because y'all know that when it comes to being a political analyst, I be catching on to a lot of things. By show of ones, y'all want me to tell y'all what's coming next. All right, I'm seeing the ones. All right. Somebody put 0. Damn, what you watching for? Well, what's next is the IRS is gone. Finished, finito. Tariffs will be the new taxes. IRS gone. That's what's next. And some of y'all are going to celebrate that, and y'all going to think that's a good thing, and it's going to seem like a good thing at first. But you're still going to be paying those taxes regardless. Somebody said that's stupid. Oh, really? Hey, now I want that person that said that's stupid. I want you to just hold on to that. I want you to wait a couple years from now, or maybe even sooner, and then be like, yo, Bree, how did you know that? Well, because I'm going to tell you why. We're going into a social credit system. That's why. We're going into a system that is pretty much a dictatorship. Democracy is completely over at this point. and you're going to be living in a totalitarian government because the people want the people put too much faith in politicians. And so they're going to take full advantage of that by making sure that they have control of every citizen, at least as many citizens as they can have control over. Let's go.
The New York Times today adds a new layer to all this. Quote,
somebody said, I adore China. No, I don't adore China. But I'm intelligent enough to know that they're going to be the next world superpower. And that this is a battle that America should not be fighting. Why? Because we're not in a position to win. Let's go.
Economists and policymakers are still rubbing their eyes in wonder that an American president single-handedly threw the world into such economic turmoil. And
well, that's why he was elected, or selected, should I say. He was placed in office by the powers that be, the shadow government, to pretty much, destabilize the world economy, because they're going to be implementing a new world system, a new digital currency economic system. So he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. This is what he was put in office to do, to bring out the mark of the beast. Trump is just a Manchurian candidate. He's the prerequisite for the chip. So, hey, you can feel how you want to feel about it, but it's the truth. Let's go.
And celebrated. Consumer and business confidence has plunged. Uncertainty is paralyzing purchases, from a new home or car to a new factory. Investors have signaled their lack of faith in the U.S. economy by selling off treasury bonds. That's the traditional haven when the outlook darkens. Again, these developments aren't just a threat.
Somebody says, hold on, let me get this. What is your proof to your truth? Well, this isn't my truth. This is the truth. You can read, I can give you some sources. You can go to Behold a Pale Horse. You can go to the book 1982. You can go to all George Orwell's literature. You can go to let me give you more. You can go to the Illuminati, Book of Secrets. You can go to the Holy Bible, the scriptures. The scriptures point out a lot of what they're doing in the book of Revelations. And I meant 1984, George Orwell, pardon me. And you can see everything unfold. And also you can watch all the movies and TV shows that came out that utilize predictive programming. You can look on Netflix and so forth to see exactly what they're doing. All right. Now, so I'm giving you sources so you can study to show yourself approved. So now you can look some of those sources up and then go from there.
To the people of this country and our nation's general sense of self and well-being, they also happen to represent what could.
Somebody said movies named. And man, I'm so glad that you all are so interested in the information. I mean, it is amazing. I'm glad. Right now, I'm trying to break this video down, but you can look at things like Black Mirror. You can look at things like They Live. You can look at, there's so many movies. There's so many TV shows. They always predict what's going to happen. Matter of fact, what's that new show that just came out, y'all? That came out on Netflix when they were talking about the power outage. And there's so many books too. I know people don't read books these days, but there's so many books. But anyway, the book that I stick to is the book of Revelations, the Bible. Tells you all about the one world currency that's coming. Yeah, 0 day is what I was thinking about. Yeah, you can look at movies such as The Matrix. We can go on and on and on. Let's go.
Could be the gravest threat to Donald Trump's political standing ever since he came down the escalator. Recent polling suggests Trump is underwater on the economy. 56% of Americans disapprove of his handling of it.
Damn. So, the nation is not really behind Trump right now. And y'all got to understand, most people was for Trump going into this, including myself. And when I say for Trump, I was, for his policies. Let's be clear about that. Because I already know that Democrats and Republicans is all the same bird. But some of the policies he was bringing out, I thought that they would be better policies. But at this point, I'm in that 56% range as well. I disapprove. I disapprove what he's doing. He out here ego tripping. He out here flexing. And it's going to be consequences and repercussions for that. Let's go.
Just 44% approve. But that's the top line. Look deeper. Puck Report says, quote, even Trump's own voters are starting to express real concerns about his ability to bring down costs and manage the economy, an area that was once seen as a key strength of his, given his status as a quote unquote businessman and candidate for president. Echelon found that while 74% of Trump 2024 voters strongly approve of his immigration policies, just 53% of his voters strongly approve of his handling of the economy. Indeed, there are red flags for Trump lurking in every corner and crosstab.
Yeah, a lot of people are disapproving of his policies regarding immigration because he's packing up people who run our farmland. And, that's ridiculous. Like I said from the beginning of all this, he should have had a task force that was specifically designated to, going after the criminals and the drug dealers and so on and so forth.
Of the Echelon poll, only 44% of voters approve of his handling of the economy, down 5 points since February. On tariffs, 55% of voters disapprove, up 6 points from February. A massive 70% of all voters now say they are concerned.
Yo, Mr. Duke in the chat says Trump has did an amazing thing to help you colored people. Yo, hey, you can't make this up. He said to help you colored people. Sheesh.
About tariffs. A measly 11% of voters say tariffs should be a top priority for the U.S. economy. A hilariously bad number for a key presidential priority. Today, those starved for signs of life from Trump's political opposition would be heartened to see what is actually happening, especially what California.
Somebody please time that dude out who said that. Let him go sit in a corner for at least 20 minutes.
California Governor Gavin Newsom announced that he and his attorney general are suing the Trump administration in federal court.
Oh, damn. And now Governor Newsom of California is suing President Trump. I mean, you're going to lose that lawsuit. Let's be honest about it. California's policies are absolutely horrendous. So hopefully Trump will be victorious in that regard. Let's go.
Over those sweeping tariffs. Watch.
Well, now, when it comes to the tariffs, I don't know. When it comes to the tariffs, that's what he's suing them about. But I don't know if he's going to be victorious or not. Let's go.
We're asserting ourselves on behalf of 40 million Americans. And I imagine if you caucus those 40 million Americans, you'd find few, I don't care where they were in the last election, that are celebrating this uncertainty, that are celebrating the largest tax increase in modern U.S. history.
Yeah, I mean, the Bible talks about we're going to end up paying, a day's wages for a loaf of bread. And the way this is going, it really does look that way. That we would be paying a day's wages for a loaf of bread the way this place is going. And China is sitting back, pulling out no stops, not holding any punches. And they going all out with this trade war.
It's where we start today with some of our most favorite experts, reporters, and friends. CNBC senior economics reporter Steve Leisman is back. Also joining us, David Frum, staff writer for The Atlantic, host of the new video podcast, The David Frum Show. With me at the table, New York Times editorial board member, MSNBC political analyst Mara Gay's here. All right, Steve, I feel like everything.
Man, I wish I could be on one of these shows, man. To be a political analyst, because I break it down to the public exactly how it is, man. Y'all imagine Bree
And your EF
next to one of these pundits, one of these analysts. I'm just gonna tell it exactly like it is, man. But anyway, let's go.
Button. I just dated myself forever. But what you say comes to pass, sometimes not in the next news cycle, but certainly by the next couple. And the economic underpinnings of what roiled the markets seem to have seeped into the mind.
For the person that said watch, basically wants me to watch Fox News, or he doesn't want me to watch CNBC, right? Let me make this very clear. I watch world news most of the time. Now, this is what I want you to do, right? I want you to use your mind for a second, right? Check this out. Because you want me to watch Fox News or whatever the case is, because you believe that this is just anti-Trump rhetoric or whatever you think is. Let me ask you something. How much did your eggs cost in your house? How much did your eggs cost? Because it's crazy, because on one end, on the other news stations, you'll hear rhetoric from Trump. $3.99, you lies. On one end, you'll hear Trump saying eggs are lower than they ever been. The economy is stabilized. But then when you go pump some gas, it's $7.99 a damn gallon. The economy has been the economy is stabilized, and gas is lower than it ever been. So is eggs and water. Like, do you not have eyeballs? Do you not see how much you're spending monthly? And that's what I talk about, ideological subversion. Right now, I'm going to listen to the news that's addressing the reasons why we still paying astronomical bills right now. How the hell, you explain to me why eggs are $29.99 a damn carton when KFC chicken is $2 for a 20 piece. Break that down for me. What came first, the chicken or the bird? What came first, the chicken or the egg? How we got bird flu when you got all these damn chickens at KFC? I'll wait. They like, Bree, you done went down a rabbit hole. Now I'm telling you. Somebody said $29.99 for 14 eggs. That's cheap. It's like they can put you in a spin cycle. They can say something you know it don't make no damn sense. But because you have a bias towards Donald Trump, you're going to stay in captivity, and it is what it is.
Of the voters and the people of this country, but perhaps more notably today, the Fed chair. Tell us what's on your radar.
So we got a 1-2 tariff punch to the market today. We began down sharply when NVIDIA, which you may know is one of the highest flyers of the 7 highest flying stocks we had, announced that it was going to take a very large charge because of a new a restriction being put on the export of chips that it had designed to meet prior export.
Come on, everybody, pay attention right now. We're not talking about eating fast food. I'm making a point saying that the chicken, of course, we know, allegedly is human meat. But what we're saying here, and yeah, I did see that KFC commercial, but what we're saying here essentially is that on one end of the news, Fox News, the Republican news or whatever the case is, they'll tell you everything is fine. Everything is stabilized. Eggs are cheap. Gas is cheap. The economy's doing just fine. But that's a lie, because your pockets and your bank accounts are telling you that's a damn lie. When you go shopping and you see the price for groceries, that's telling you that's a damn lie. So I rather go to the news that's explaining why the economy is all over the place. I have no biases. For those who paying attention, I told y'all, if I was going to vote, I would have voted for Donald Trump. But I don't approve right now because things are not going right. They're going to a trade war. The country about to go into a damn race war, it looks like. They're trying to go to war with Iran. Just war, war, war. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching the video, double tap the screen to like the video. Double tap the screen. I know that my opinions can be controversial when I'm discussing politics. But look, one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to stimulate some thought. You're going to think about what was said. Let's go.
Restrictions. Well, the market didn't like that and it traded down. And that went across the day until about 1:30 when Fed Chair Jay Powell gave a speech and where he said, you know what, these tariffs put us in a particular pickle. We cannot cut rates to save the economy if there's a downturn or a recession because the tariffs threaten inflation. And only when we are sure that the inflation is temporary can we come in and cut interest rates. Now, of course, this is a particular situation because the Fed usually doesn't have a dilemma between these two situations. When unemployment falls, inflation. When unemployment rises, inflation falls.
Yep, when unemployment rises, inflation falls.
So it really doesn't have a dilemma. Tariffs do both. They cause the economy to decline and growth to contract, and they cause higher inflation. So the Fed is...
And that's what's happening right now. But of course, Trump, along with Elon Musk, they claim that this is only temporary. We got to give it time. The economy was in such bad shape that that's what it's going to take to regulate it. My response to that is America doesn't have the resources and time. The U.S. citizens don't have the time. They should be charging the rich, but they're going to try to get rid of the IRS using these tariffs. But the rich should have had to pay for our deficits and our debt. That's the point of it. And the Most High is not happy with that because the rich are getting richer, the middle class is getting cut out, and the homeless are disappearing. That's what's happening right now. Homeless relocation plan. We don't know where the homeless are going. Homeless disappearing. They're trying to smash down on the middle class and make them poor. And then the rich are getting richer. That's what's going on in America. And meanwhile, their greed is making them self-destruct because they're so prideful and arrogant that they're going to war with the next biggest economy, which is China, which is going to destabilize the entire world economy.
Saying to the markets, we can't help you out here.
Somebody said, why does the FBA love Trump? I don't know what you're talking about.
And the markets took another leg down. It was a really tough day in the markets because the Fed chair said, we can't help.
And you're always so good at tying what the market is reacting to what people will
double tap your screens to get the likes up, ladies and gentlemen.
Sort of eventually have to contend with. And I've been reading both the Times as well as some regional papers from around the country that
y'all can see that they playing games, knocking people in, knocking people out, because this, a lot of people want this information, but it's up to y'all to double tap the screen because they know that, this is the information we need. Let's go.
To be my job in the White House. And people are starting to apply local sort of needs and products to the global crisis that Trump has created. And people are starting to understand that things that are made here and things that are needed here to make things here are all in jeopardy.
I mean, that's right. And I mean, honestly, if the president had stopped for a second to think about any of this stuff, he almost certainly would have come up with a very different policy. But you can see, like when he first put tariffs on the auto companies, 3 days later, he came out and he got rid of them. And then he said, well, no, the auto companies need a little more time. Then he put them back on. Then he took them back off. It's really kind of very difficult for anybody to plan anything right now. But also what we're learning is just how reliant we are on the imports that we get. If we could have been making it here, we would have been making it here. But There's something I looked at, Nicole, which I think is instructive. There's a thing called raw metals, the making of steel.
Yeah, I would think that America would be making a lot of raw metals and steel. But this guy here, he knows what he's talking about. Commodities is very important when it comes to any country. But let's listen.
And there's also fabricated metals. There are 4 times more employees that are working with the raw metals and fabricating it than there are the people who are making the raw steel. So we get these things in, we make profit from it, and we sell it, and we make money. And that's why, I'm sorry, but contrary to what the president says, we're one of the
Let me read JM's super chats here. It says tariffs are a tax on imported goods. If it's not manufactured in the U.S. companies will just pass the tariff price increases onto the U.S. consumers. Exactly. Now let's read that again. It says, if it's not manufactured in the U.S. companies will just pass the tariff prices increases onto the U.S. consumers. Well, guess why that's problematic? Because everything is practically made outside of the U.S. Most of the things that we use come from China or other countries. So what that means is the consumers are going to be the ones who have to pay the price. That's why Trump is being very selective when it comes to China with certain things, like, he put a halt on tariffs regarding iPhones and, different electronics and things of that nature, because that would cripple America. Like, do you know how much Americans love their phones, their iPhones, and all that stuff made in China, bro? It's all made in China. And so that is the real deal. That's the real deal. Let's go.
Richest countries in the world. We are not poor. Those other countries are not taking advantage of us. That's not what's happening right now. Sure, there are places where we could possibly have a better relationship, but the idea of blowing everything up and then saying, okay, we're going to negotiate it. Well, you just get what you get. You mess around and then you find out. And what we're finding out is that these trade relationships are very important to big companies. And I think what you just said, Nicole, is really significant, that individual Americans are finding out just how important these trade relationships are.
What is the posture of sort of the largest retailers in the country? I mean, my son plays travel baseball, so you go into lots of places, and Walmart is where if you forgot something you need, if you forgot a glove or a sock, they have that. If you need groceries, they have that. I mean, they can be sort of a beating heart of just about anywhere you go. These recognizable retailers that have everything on the shelves.
Now listen to what she's asking here. This is important.
At affordable prices. What is the prospect for their ability to sustain prices and sustain supply?
Now, I haven't heard this, so hopefully this guy answered this right. Let's hear it.
Well, they're warning about all of that. They're warning that their profits may not be so high, or maybe lower than they had been. They're worried about the supply of things. It's interesting to use that word supply, Nicole, because what happened in the pandemic was what's called a supply shock.
Yep.
We couldn't get the stuff we needed. You stopped making cars.
Yep, toilet paper, all that. Mask, alcohol, swabs, first aid kits. Couldn't get that stuff.
Because you couldn't make chips. And then the whole thing sort of cascades down, and then prices go up. This is going to be a supply shock.
Yep, hyperinflation. I told y'all, look, the retail apocalypse is here. Nobody wants to hear what we talking about, but there's a reason why all those stores got shut down, man. There's a reason why you kept seeing stores getting shut down, one after another. It's the retail apocalypse. Y'all got to understand that everything is going to be done online. You got to understand that, there will be a lack of goods and services, a lack of products. People going to look at it like, oh, this is convenient. I could just click a button and get my goods and services. No, it's going to minimalize all your options. You're going to have less and less and less options. Why? Because you're not getting those goods and services. I'm telling y'all right now, Trump was put in office to destabilize the economy. It's part of the plan. The Illuminati card game told us all about this, man. That's what's happening right now. They setting up for the mark of the beast. Let's go.
It's not like we can't live without these things and won't do okay, but what's going to happen is prices will go up or products won't be available.
But he just said exactly what I'm telling y'all. Prices will go up or products won't be available. It's going to be both. It's going to be both. And, and shout out to all the whistleblowers who were saying this, last year. There's a lot of people that I've watched that had the intel on this, and they were saying it last year just as well as myself. And we were telling y'all last year, look, the retail apocalypse coming. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a lack of goods, a lack of services, and things are going to cost more.
It's very indicative of
that's right, 1984, George Orwell. It's all coming true.
What happened during the pandemic, and you have to brace for that. It's quite remarkable. The pandemic was something that was created by nature and spread.
No, it wasn't. It was something created by the powers that be. The pandemic was more like a plandemic. Matter of fact, at the World Health, not the World Health, but the World Economic Forum, they were already showing you what was going to come. The World Economic Forum, they pretty much acted out everything. And it happened verbatim. And this is what they always do. They make these plans and then these things come true. And they play it out right in your face, but people don't want to pay attention to it.
This is something that is completely man-made.
And that's China. You remember Trump kept saying the Chinese virus. Yo, man, it's crazy.
And I always say, don't mess around, because the world will come at you with things you haven't thought were coming your way.
Yeah, a lab in China sponsored us. That's right.
You'll have to react. If we had a problem right now in which we needed Europe, Japan, or any of our allies right now, how eager would they be to come to our rescue in the event? You remember
somebody said they're planning another one. I'm going to tell you, the next one's going to be a cyber pandemic. I said the next one's going to be a cyber pandemic. And they're going to say that the system has got a bug. And it's going to require them to purge the whole system. They're going to have to detox the whole system. And that's when they're going to reset things. I'm telling you.
The great financial crisis, all the central banks got together and worked together to save the global financial system.
All the central banks got together so they could be on one accord. All the central banks came together so they can put the new system in place.
Would that happen now? I think
it's a great reset.
There's great risk that it wouldn't.
And then meanwhile, this is what China talking about. Hold on. Meanwhile, China, they responded to America like this.
Not your little niggas, like, for real. All that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies. We're not little niggas. So we don't even respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't. And for me, I never respected in the streets. That's why I always got the problems I got. Would tell me, Maze, chill. No, chill for what? Who is this nigga? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like, I want to respect you, but I can't.
Yeah, that's Putin right there. And that's the China president. This is how they chopping it up right now. This is how they like Cam and Mace. And they like, yo, who is America talking about? Like, look, we don't have no big homies. Man, double tap your screen, y'all. Double tap the screen, man. Get the lights up.
We're not your little niggas. Like, for real. All that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies. We're not little niggas. So we don't even...
Yo, why is this joint so funny, bro?
Respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't. And for me, I never respected in the streets. That's why I always got the problems I got. Would tell me, Maze, chill. No, chill for what? Who is this nigga? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like, I want to respect you, but I can't. And I'm going to tell.
Yo, man, that's funny.
But you know what I'm so shocked at, Jackie? That it's just 9.5 billion. Like I thought we saved a minimum 250 billion. Why start so low?
Yeah, we've got to go back actually and look at the numbers because there are conflicting stats in the Politico reporting and the NPR reporting. It looks like the NPR or the New York Post reporting includes cuts to NPR and PBS as well as 8-point-something billion for the State Department, while the Politico reporting puts the State Department and USAID cuts at 26, which would include the 8 that's referenced in the New York Post. So
man, double tap your screen, get the likes up. This is the outcome of China. Look, China orders halt to Boeing jet deliveries. Let's go back to that. China is continuing to retaliate against America. And it is what it is. Let me see. Black Dub wannabe gangster says, hey, Newbie, I guarantee you will be back on a Trump train in a few months. I was never on a Trump train. Because guess what? Donald Trump never had a comprehensive plan for Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? Neither political party had a plan for us. So I can care less about being on a Trump train. Trump the same one that faked an assassination. Y'all know damn well that was fake. Like I'm not playing these political games. That man put a ketchup packet on his ear. This is all a show. Don't you understand by now that this is entertainment? Don't you understand by now that they playing theater with the people? Let's go.
The first earnings report for 2025, no negative effect from these tariffs. 70% of their goods are made in America, and that's what Trump's trying to do for industries. He's listening to the car industry. They're saying, can you rethink?
Trump put a pause on auto tariffs. You know why? Because the car's probably made in China too, damn it.
Can you pause this for just a little bit?
It's like, I think at this point, all right, so all my Trump supporters in the building, right? Respectfully, I rock with y'all too. I'm not here to offend y'all. At least y'all not for all that extra stuff that the left wing be into, right? I'm not here to, I'm just somebody on the outside looking in. Let me ask y'all this. Should Donald Trump back down from China? 1 or 2? One being Trump should back down, 2 being no. I see I got a lot of Trump supporters in there. Okay, man, I got a lot of Trump supporters in here. Man, China said, we not your little niggas. You better put a pause on Nissan, Toyotas, and Mitsubishis. Because we not your little niggas. Man, the Trump supporters said, hell nah, we ain't backing down. I hope y'all got that right. I said 1, stand down. 2, go ahead and squab it out. I say Trump need to back down. Leave China alone, man. Somebody say he too deep in the game now. Somebody say I don't know nobody buy Mitsubishis anyway, but your ass buy that PlayStation 5 though, don't you? You buy that PlayStation 5 and you buy them Jordans too, don't you? All right. It look like my chat is about half and half. See, that's why I rock with y'all. Y'all got a mind of y'all own, man. I don't try to dictate what y'all feel and think, man. I'm just speaking my mind, and it's what we do. We come together and chop it up. Let's go.
He's listening to the people.
Everybody half and half. People saying, let's ride it out. Some people saying back down. I'm going to have to say leave China alone because China's like, we not your little niggas. And you're not finna bring Chinese jobs over here because Americans not going to work them. You're not going to have Americans making Jordans. It's not going to happen. At the end of the day, I already know what Trump I already know what their plan is to hire artificial intelligence. It's gonna be robots taking the jobs. If anything, let's go.
People, but we, a lot of people out in America, they love this. Everywhere we go, people are saying they love it. Trump did sit down with Rachel Compost-Duffy. She asked him something that he said no one has ever asked him. Could the tariff money, could it replace our income taxes so that we wouldn't have to pay taxes? Listen.
Los aranceles van a reemplazar el income tax.
You're the only one that's asked me that. Oh, I deal with all these big financial geniuses. Nobody ever. There is a chance that the money from tariffs could be so great that it would replace, in the old days, 18.
What I just tell y'all, when I said, y'all know what's next? And y'all was like, what's next, Breed? And I said, man, getting rid of the IRS. Now, what did Trump just say? What did Trump just say? I'm telling you.
Tariffs could be so great that it would replace, in the old days, about 8. Oh, I deal with all these big financial geniuses. Nobody ever. There is a chance that the money from tariffs could be so great that it would replace, in the old days, about 1870 to 1913, the tariffs were the only form of money. And that's when our nation was relatively the richest. We were the richest.
That's interesting. You'll be able to see Rachel.
Yeah, he's going to be getting rid of the IRS soon. Real soon.
Full interview with the president. It drops today, 4:00 on Fox Noticias, and she's got the interview. And in talking, Lawrence, you made a good point. There's going to be some pain because of a variety of reasons. But we know big
double tap your screen, ladies and gentlemen, to get the likes up. I'm bringing some real pivotal information, so show your support.
National companies like Boeing.
Yeah, and let me make this clear. Ain't nothing to be scared of. I'll be bringing out this information all the time. And, some people, they just think it's daunting and they get afraid. And no, man, look, we God's people. We sitting back eating our popcorn and we enjoying the show. We enjoying the show, because at the end of the day, the last shall finish first and the first shall finish last. And the Most High is not going to forsake the righteous ever. So when we cover this news, we're just talking about what's going on in the world. When you come over here, it's like we chopping it up, hanging out, talking about what's happening in politics the same way we would in person. Everybody has the right to their opinion. And, I don't judge people on what political affiliation they have. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But these are just my takes on a lot of the things I see. And a lot of times I'm right. A lot of the times I come back and be like, yo, Bree, you was right. I get that a whole lot. There's people who come from the left and the right that come to my channel. And they'll watch and then they'll inbox me, be like, hey, I was a liberal, now, I was a Republican. Now I just follow your media. I follow what you're talking about and you be going right down the middle with it. And you be right about it. So they be Democrats and Republicans tuned in. So, I don't really, it is what it is, right? The land is already divided enough, but let's go.
And the car companies, they've got plans to weather it. The New York Post today, their cover story is Mr. Trump saved my business. And what it talks about is how many mom and pop shops across the United States are in really big trouble.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. More mom and pop shops. And this is what I've been telling y'all, man. And y'all think the news is lying. That's the retail apocalypse. Many mom and pop stores are getting shut down. A lot of options are going to go away. It's going to be nothing but generic. It's going to be so boring in America, bro. It's going to be so boring in these cities because you're going to only have the generic places that you can choose from when it comes to shopping and everything. I'm telling you, y'all understand the damage that's being done right now. Yeah, Walmart did have they had a great role in shutting down a lot of mom and pop's actual stores. But with these tariffs and the way the economy is changing, it's going to be worse. Like D-Man said, he said it's doom and gloom. I hear that all the time. And then everything that's doom and gloom seems to be coming true. It seems to be coming true. But hey, It is what it is.
Small businesses account for 1/3 of all American imports. All the stuff that comes into the country goes to small businesses. And right now, a lot of the small businesses are having to either lay off people or hike their prices or close.
Somebody said y'all giving China way too much credit. F China. Well, look, let me just tell you like this, right? China pulled another retaliation, but the first one was crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, can y'all hear me? One in the chat if y'all can hear me. Says buffering. I got a black screen. What the world is going on? Y'all can't hear me. Can y'all see anything? Yo, I don't know what they have done. Yeah, it's a black screen. I don't know why. I don't know why it's a black screen, but this is what happened over here every time because they know a lot of people are attempting to watch this video and they're targeting the channel purposely. And still, this is going to do what it need to do because y'all can see what's happening. Hold on. I'm gonna try something here. Can y'all see me now? Everybody, y'all have to double tap the screen, get the likes up. Yo, they just straight hit me with an EMP, yo. They hit me with an EMP. So if you ever have to question if you're getting truth over here, if you ever have to question it, look at the anomalies that take place on my platform. Just look at what happens. Just look at what they do, y'all. This is nonstop. It never fails. This happens constantly. But that's what y'all signed up for, the truth. So I'm going to keep putting my life on the line and speaking the truth because that's what's happening. I put my life on the line just to tell y'all the truth. But let's continue. We're talking about these tariffs. We're talking about the retail apocalypse. I'm just reacting to the news. And what I'm doing is bringing out things that I've been saying. We're just seeing it happen now. KC Moto said, YouTube said, we not your little niggas. Yeah, they said that to me, huh? That's wild. Let's go, man. Look, we're going to go back a little bit and we're going to finish off the show. Let's go.
The New York Post, the editorial says, Mr. President, be careful because you are well insulated from the financial shocks. They have no clue about how the surcharges are clobbering small business owners and their patrons. So while a big company has got deep pockets, it's the people who are living paycheck to paycheck.
Exactly. The big companies got deep pockets, but it's the people who live in paycheck to paycheck that's suffering right now. And the Bible says the rich should be charged. The rich. This should not be happening, but y'all still approve of what's happening because you idolize Donald Trump.
As a small business operator that are really feeling the pain. A lot of them voted for Trump. A lot of them want the tariffs to work, but right now it just hurts.
Exactly. And a lot of you Trump supporters can't be honest about that. Right now, some of you are in a place of depravity and you're taking L's and you have to restructure everything simply because of these tariffs, but you don't want to admit it just because you want to continue to glaze Donald Trump because that's who you voted for. And this is the reason why, people won't wake up. And every time it's election time, people want to put all their faith and hope in a president instead of coming together and pulling themselves up by the bootstraps. And that's the truth that people don't want to hear because you always idolizing somebody, regardless of what side you on when it comes to politics. And the only people being affected the most is the middle class and the American consumers. But it's like we need a wake-up call.
Projected pain, because I mean, we're talking about something that happened 4 days ago, 1 week ago, or depending on, and the president's phased other things in. The other thing is, the president's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He said he's going to reconfigure all these relationships. He said 10 came in with strong deals yesterday.
Somebody said you've been watching a lot of CNN. You know what's interesting? CNN is giving us some answers to why the price of living is so high, why groceries are so high. But y'all don't want the reality of the situation. And also Fox News been giving pushback too. So hold on. Right now wait. For the person that said that, hold on real quick. I done went to CNBC and now look where I'm at. The hell do I need to zoom in? So for the person that just said you watching too much CNBC, I am on Fox News right now, and that first one was CNBC. Stop playing. Y'all just don't want to believe the news that the economy is falling. You don't want to hear that. Let's go.
Also, that big story about NVIDIA, Lawrence, with the chip maker announced it would produce supercomputers for artificial intelligence entirely in the U.S. That might be the #1 company in the world.
Yeah, let's actually talk with some of the people about that, Brian, because I think this tariff thing, we're so outside of the bubble sometimes that we miss what the American people are talking about. Let's go talk with some folks here. Hey, how y'all doing? Let's go over here. Hey, how y'all doing? Let's talk about the tariffs, gentlemen. What's your name, ma'am?
Kathy.
Kathy, and what's your name? Jim. Okay, so I've been talking with folks about this tariff issue. Some people feel like we need to take the power back from these other countries. We need some fairness. And some people feel like we're going to have some pain. Where do you stand? Do you support the president's plan here, or are you concerned?
I support the president. I think it'll all even out. And we voted for him. We have to support him.
Damn right. We voted for Donald Trump, and damn it, we going to stand by our president. Because we some God-fearing, George Bush voting, Donald Trump voting, Tonka truck driving Americans. You goddamn Skippy, we gonna vote for Trump, and we gonna stand by our president, even if we have to have an economic reset. Even if I can't afford my chewing tobacco, I'm backing Trump. I'm not mocking the lady, though. I'm just mocking all of them. I'm sure she's a sweet lady, so don't think I'm mocking the lady. I'm just saying, a lot of people who's standing on business with Trump, they some rootiness, tootiness, cowboy shootiness. It is what it is.
What about you, sir? Where do you stand?
I think one of the things that we always ask is why we're going to leave our children. And I think that this is something that should have been done decades ago. So this is something that we're going to leave our children. We're going to leave our children a better economy than we have right now.
Thank you, sir. Let's go over and talk to these folks. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
How you doing?
Look at the people he asking. Do you got a MAGA hat on? That's a MAGA hat, ain't it?
Well, you're live on air. I promise I'm going to take a picture with you afterwards. What's your name?
Angela.
Angela, tell me, what do you feel about the president in this tariff business? Do you feel like it's the right thing to do?
Man, if she say, nah, man, and my prescriptions cost too much, the food, gas, egg prices, that lady ain't gonna make it out of there.
To get some fairness with the other countries, shut down China. Are you concerned right now?
No, I'm not concerned. I have full faith in our president. We support
Y'all got full faith in the president. Okay.
him 100%.
Is this what he can?
Why people don't have full faith in the Most High, though? How about full faith in the scriptures? Let's go.
Campaign done that he was going to go after these, make America great again through America First policy?
Yes, he did.
Where you stand, sir?
Absolutely stand behind the president. Number one, he actually, his masterful plan played China like a fiddle. And, you know, you got to say that may be rough the next few weeks, but we'll get through it. And it's totally the art of the deal.
Well, we always do get through it, don't we? So, guys, this is what I was talking about. It's not just the people that support Trump. It's all these unions that are typically Democratic voters that are supportive of this tariff policy.
You know, Fox News is something else, boy. They went into this diner with these people. Why the hell they got Christmas? Like, what is it, Easter? Oh, that's Easter stuff. All right, I done forgot it was Easter, but, you know, Easter's satanic and pagan, by the way. But, you know, he goes up in this place where everybody, this little diner in this little town here. And, you know, of course, these are the people we expect to support Donald Trump no matter what. But the Bible definitely tell us not to put our faith in man, right?
So while Wall Street may be freaking out, and these people, they've acknowledged the pain as well, but they support the president's action right here because they feel like it's time to stick it to China, A, and number two, it's America first, not America last, guys.
Well, there you go. All right, thanks for the
They
people.
said the same thing that the diner patrons were saying to Brian last week when he was at a diner. They support the president. They trust him. Anything's better than what we had for you.
But look, y'all, listen, this man just gave all these facts. This guy right here, he gave all these facts in details about how the tariffs is affecting America. And you know, in response, you see what emotionalism, you see what Fox News did? They went to this diner. They said, let's use a black man because black guys, we love Donald Trump, right? Black guys love Donald Trump. We got to send a black guy in a diner full of white people who are going to support Trump no matter what. Even though this economic analyst just gave you details to what's happening in the country. All of that was tore up with this. I'm telling you, bro. Hey, either you can see or you can't, man. Either you can see or you can't. Yeah, they use this brother as a talking head. I'm telling you, and this is, man, a lot of people are aligning themselves to be used just like that guy. Yeah, they just downplayed the entire truth. He dropped truth. Everything he said was right on. But they said, well, look, we got a little psyop for y'all. Throw him in the diner. Use him as a pawn. We want you to go interview a bunch of guys with MAGA hats. Bruh. Come on, man. And some of y'all heart was warm. Like, yeah, we just going to wait it out. Yeah, look, the Bible says if the Most High was going to save Babylon, he would have did it already. If the Most High was going to save Babylon, he would have already done it.
Over the last 4 years. So they're giving him time and letting it all shake out.
Yeah, and Lawrence, by the way, there are a lot of people talking about your walking. It's a lot of good walking. It's a lot of good weaving and walking. It's some great walking. It's a very deep embassy diner. Yep. Some great walking.
And still, oh boy, he still got a smile on his face, but hey, I guess they are part of the game. But anyway, man, thank each and every one of y'all. I got more material coming. I'm sorry for the disruption that we encountered. I don't know why that happened. They gave me the black screen. It went out for the people, but, you know, we still finished the stream nonetheless. I want everybody to double tap your screen one more time, get the likes up. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, my website that was down for a couple minutes the other day, it is newbreedglobaltruth.com. Newbreedglobaltruth.com. I said newbreedglobaltruth.com. Thank each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.